Welcome, guys, to the fifth episode of Beyond Mirage. And today I have with us Anam again. And if you haven't listened to the first episode with Anam, then please go and do it because she has told some excellent qualities that you require to be a model. And I personally believe those are the qualities that you don't just require to be a model, but also you need those qualities to live your daily life. So please go and check it out. And today we are going to more focus on the backstage diaries and how we can channelize the negativity that we face in our day-to-day life. So over to you, Anam, and please tell us that what are the backstage diaries involved in modeling.
Jay, honestly, backstage is the most exciting place at a fashion show. Even more than the front stage, I'd say. I mean, I love being backstage because of the energy like all the energy that's with all the chaos and like everybody, like each model being helped by like 3 4 helpers fitting into a garment and like in 2 minutes they have to get ready and go and uh, multiple garments, multiple people, multiple makeup artists, hair artists, all of them like working together. It's so chaotic and it's so like in a hurry, trying to like put up a show. So the energy is crazy. So it's really exciting, and also you get to learn so much. All like designers making various decisions about fabrics and like color palettes and styling decisions, how to present their garment, and they select models like what skin color and what color palette will look good. It really opens up your mind to the world of clothing. And I'd say I'd give it up for like the models also, because like apart from when we're wearing the designers garments, we're also like the models, they turn up in amazing clothes, and if you want to be a part of them, you have to up your fashion game. So you learn so much, your style sense evolves, and you discover tricks that you would never have thought of. Like makeup artists tell you things about your face, like the symmetry and how makeup is an art, and like what to highlight, what not to highlight. So you learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about clothing. You learn a lot about um, basically how to present yourself. You become so much more confident. So yeah, these are some of the things that go on backstage.
That's really amazing, I feel. And but I think there might be some other side of the coin too, because anything that we go into in our life or we want to do it, we need to check both the sides of the coin. Then only we'll be able to take a better decision. So can you
Correct.
focus more on say cons, or are there any cons first of all? And if yes, then what are those?
Um, I'd say, I mean, so once you make it to a show, then you're just like adopted by them and they want to present you in the best way, possible. It's the struggle to get to the show. Okay. But now once you obviously like, I mean, this is very rare, and sometimes like a few models, they are they wouldn't want to wait in the queue to get their makeup done because they're seniors, or because they know the makeup artist. So things like that, like, or they'll get better garments, or so yeah, this is something that you may have to deal with a little bit of a rookie bullying or whatever. I
Okay.
wouldn't really like. I don't know if I should call it bullying, but anyway. So that, and yeah. So and like it'll make you a little insecure because I mean they are going to be given more complicated garments because they're more experienced. But it also makes you feel like, when will I get the chance? So yeah, that
Okay.
basically.
And what are the 3 to 4 things that you need to deal on day-to-day basis if you are into modeling?
Okay, so I'd say I mean, I'll give you a view from inside the modeling world and outside the modeling world. So, when you're modeling, you get like if you go for audition, sometimes you may be rejected for being a different body type than another girl,
Yeah.
and that's not really in your hands, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, but because it's a comment on your physical appearance, you're going to take it like it's gonna hurt a little. So, you have to deal with that. You have to accept. It makes you accept actually that okay, so what, you know. There's these people aren't takers for me, but there will be some other takers. So you have to deal with that. Um, Constant physical criticism for sure, but because of the nature of the industry, um, then there is like I think the outside world always like I told you, like glamour is something that comes to everybody's head when they say model. So everybody will always expect you to look like crazy hot, okay, like in makeup and your hair done, and but like everybody doesn't always look like that, right?
Right.
And so it's a lot of pressure, you know, to, and like if you don't meet their expectations, they'll say things like she's not so good looking. In real life, she doesn't look so good. On social media, she looks good, but no, she's not as good looking or whatever. Okay, so that constant pressure. Okay, while people will like be on your face, they'll be like, "Oh, she's a model," you know, but like behind your back, they'll have these things to say. They'll have their personal, you know, whatever they think.
Right.
So yeah, that. Then another thing that I deal with, like I think all freelance artists deal with, is financial instability. That is because I don't think I can like, you know, income is not consistent or unstable, unstable. Sorry. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I cannot plan my purchases. I cannot plan my vacations. You know, I don't know if like the money that I have right now, if I spend it, um, or buying something, if I may, or you know, get the next show, or like, you know, if I'm gonna recover that. So it's a lot of like financial instability that you deal with, and the constant pressure of having to have a certain standard of living. So it's just like it's unreal, like, you know, what is expected,
Mm-hmm.
because the nature of the profession is such that you cannot have uh, as much stability, and then people are expecting you to always have, like, you know, crazy glamorous lifestyle and look a certain way and all. So
Right.
I think it's a little bit too much to deal with, and I think it's a little bit unnecessary.
Right. Right. So you said that it's not stable. You need to deal with a lot of criticism. Then you have to maintain certain standards, even if you don't want to. There's a constant pressure. Then just a thought arises in my mind: why people continue to do these kind of things, even if there's a lot of back end things like this.
So, CJ, there are two, like, I mean, when I was getting into modeling, I didn't see this. I didn't know this, you know. It was
Okay.
only after doing it for a while. Like I said in the previous episode, also, like, um, on social media, everything seems so hunky dory that you feel like, oh, okay, you know, I'm gonna do it and then I'm gonna earn these bucks and like spend them on me. But no, right? Like you realize that after you're already in it, and by the time you're in it, you're like, you also experience like what I was talking about backstage, you know, learning so much, and like you evolve so much, and you're just a part of this. um Dude, it's a different breed of people, to be very honest. I think fashion in India is one of the most. I mean, so there are different forms of modeling, like commercial modeling, print modeling. You can do television commercials, but like I feel like fashion is the most open-minded, the most forward in terms of thinking, and in terms of creative expression.
Okay.
In fashion model, like in a fashion show, you don't always create garments that you know will sell. You also create garments that you actually believe are really out of the box, and like that, and which is why people say that, you know, this nobody can wear, this you can't wear at you know, in public. But that's the idea of a fashion show, that, you know, you can creatively express through your garment, and not just for it to sell. So I guess that's why people do it.
Wow, that's nice. Okay. And say, if I would like to ask you that, how did you channelize all this kind of emotions? Maybe some negativity, criticism, not stability, these kind of things. How did you face it, and how did you channelize these things so that you can look at the positive side and keep striving towards it?
I mean, see, like when that like when things are not working out for you, it's very easy to focus on the negative aspects,
Exactly.
and but like I think that just just keep going,
Okay.
so yeah, you just be persistent. I mean, you do your workout, you take care of yourself, even if you're not getting a show, or if you're not getting if you're getting rejected at auditions. But like each day is taking you like closer to winning an audition, because in fact, now when I look back, I saw, like, this is my solid belief that the 2 years that I kept getting rejected, and I had to struggle to get fashion shows, was when I learned the most and I grew the most. Once I start getting them, then the growth really, like, क्या growth है उसके बाद, I'm
Right.
doing the same thing again and again, and that's exactly like what you have to remember when you're struggling, that this is when you're growing the most. So if it's not giving you pain, then you need to do something more, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing,
I
amazing. So
but
it's
like
like,
this is sorry, go on.
yeah, it's just like that. You keep striving and have patience. Yes, there
Yeah,
will be rejections, people will not accept you, but you need to focus on a long term growth.
yeah.
And
I mean, as the more the struggle, the better the result that you get. Like, right?
right,
So yeah.
amazing, amazing. Thanks, Anam, for sharing such a wonderful insight with us. And I hope all our viewers and listeners do like it. So, thank you, Anam, for joining us. I'm very happy that you came.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah,
Okay. It was
yeah.
great
See
talking
you.
to you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.